Bob's in here. I think he's doing fret job. It looks like he is. Got here some fret jobs going.
We're doing a video?
Bob's doing fret jobs.
There's nothing like cutting stainless ends in the morning. It's the greatest pleasure a man could ever have.
Cutting stainless ends.
It freaking sucks. It hurts my muscles.
That's why everyone could. Oh, it hurts your muscles.
Remember I was making fun of that guy?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not really making fun of him. It's just that.
It hurts your muscles too.
That it's really worth it.
Does it hurt your hands more than it hurts your muscles?
It hurts your hands. It hurts everything. I mean, more your hands than anything else.
Is this what you used to do it?
Well, this is my technique of cutting the ends. I'm going to show some people this because this can be a real nightmare. I mean, honestly, cutting stainless frets. I've cut down one side of this neck.
Yeah, as much as you love the stainless frets, I know that they're...
Well, they're a requirement. I mean, I can rip through a set of frets in a year. I can't. You can't keep refretting a guitar. That's not good.
Ripping out all the wood out of your beautiful neck.
It's supposed to be done once, and that's it. We should have invented frets this hard a long time ago, but it's work. It's hard to do. Okay.
So stainless steel frets literally last forever on the guitar.
They do. Now.
Oh, you got two of those.
You see
boys.
this tool?
3 of them.
This tool's junk. Okay, this is.
What is it?
This is great for regular frets, you know.
Oh, it's an actual fret cutting device?
Yeah, it's sold by. Look. I've cut stainless frets with it. I cut 2 or 3 frets, and it's already chewed.
It needs to go to the orthodontist.
Yeah, I mean, that's just. It's just you're not going to do it with that. These. Probably I bought when I'm 60-something years old. I probably bought these when I was 15 years old at the local hardware store. We didn't have Stumac in place. When I was a kid, we just ground these down ourselves. You know, we learned from master guitar builders that were doing the same thing.
So you have to re-edge them.
But these don't have a chance of cutting stainless. Okay, I mean, I can take something like this. Again, a very old tool, very hard old tool, a real channel lock tool. I probably had this tool since I was 20 years old, probably 45, 50 years. I can cut nails with this. All right.
But you can't cut stainless frets?
Well, I could take a piece of stainless wire and snap it with this, okay? But there's no way I'm going to get a clean cut on an edge with something like this. And if I were to grind this down so that you can, there'd be no strength in it. It would snap. It would chip away.
Then it would be ruined.
It would be ruined. So a lot of people avoid stainless frets because getting them in is a whole different challenge. It's a whole different kind of thing. Okay, it's not the same old shit like regular frets, but that you can learn. Filing them, if you put them in right, you barely have to touch the top of them, and profile them. That doesn't ruin your files. Okay, filing the ends, that's a bitch. Okay, cutting the ends, a real bitch.
You're gonna do that on the video?
Yeah, right now. These tools right here. Okay. This is there's 2 sizes. This is a full-size one. These are very old vintage tools. Okay? These I do not modify or grind. So what do I cut with these? I can't cut that with these. Stainless is like a joke to these. These laugh at stainless wire. Okay? I did not grind these down. So when I'm cutting all my wires and sticking them in these holes to do 3 or 4 fret jobs or whatever, after I bend my wire, I cut it off the roll with these. It doesn't make perfectly clean cuts because it's beveled. It's like it's designed to work. These are designed to cut giant piano strings. Okay. Now the smaller one here, I take and I modify. See, I grind the blades flat. The blades are replaceable, and you grind them around here, grind them around here, grind them flat, and make it so that you can get in the tight edges here, like that. Okay. Now, even though these will cut stainless without ever chipping, I probably cut 100 fret jobs with this. No chips at all, okay? But, yeah, that's a bruise, and it's going to be a bruise for days. Okay, if I gotta cut 2 or 3 of these, you're going to have to go somewhere where you can see this. Okay. So...
Bob's going to hurt his muscles.
We'll show the force I have to put in on my arm to cut this. Show the back up, okay? So I got it, okay? And it hits you like a bullet, okay? But no, seriously.
Oh, God.
And any fret job you do, I see a lot of people never clamp their ends like this. Always clamp your ends, because when you cut this, you know, you're torquing the end of your fret job, you know? So if you run it back a little
hurt
bit,
his muscles.
okay, watch this. The pad of your hand just gets a freaking beating, okay? Don't step on these ends, they'll go right through your foot. It hurts my muscles.
It hurts my hand. It hurts my hand.
I shouldn't make fun of that guy. He's a good guy. I like him. It's just, he cracked me up with his video saying it hurts my muscles, you know, and I say it doesn't hurt you. Well, I'll tell you, that hurts. If you don't got anything in your arm, you're going to have trouble cutting these off. Yeah, so I'd agree. He probably did hurt his muscles. He certainly didn't have these, okay? These will save your life if you're going to do a stainless fret job. They're the only way, and you see they're adjustable, okay? On the starting point, you see the things.
Mm-hmm.
You can put them out or in, and they won't slip. I mean, they're grooved. These are a well-made. This is a real tool, okay?
If that thing ever breaks, no more stainless fret jobs?
Well, you got to get another one. You can supposedly still buy these new.
Oh.
They're probably like a few $100s, but
hurting his muscles.
Damn it. Okay, so now, you know, obviously now I would have to move my clamps down, keep track of these ends, these stainless ends.
I heard one hit the floor.
Make sure they don't go in my coffee.
I think they'll sink to the bottom.
If you swallowed a stainless fret end, you'd be in big trouble. Well, they probably would sink to the bottom.
Along with the grounds. Look at that.
What's different about that and that?
How come there's no
paint on the back of the neck?
How come the neck is so light?
How come there's no paint here, but there's paint here? Is that what you're asking me?
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so just like these. All right. No paint. No paint. Paint. Okay. Very, very good question.
Why do you have paint on the top of the fretboard, but not on the rest of the neck?
But not the rest of the neck. Okay. Here's the deal. I've wrestled with this for many, many years of building one-piece maple necks, because my opinion, I feel they're the best necks in the world. A giant glob of glue with a fingerboard and some giant truss rod under it. Nah, this is the way the tone is. Quarter sawn. I got these taped off because as I'm painting them, I got these in there, so I got my ends out. These hold the necks for me when I paint them. But anyway, so long story short, in the old days, I would always wrestle with, okay, do you fret the neck first and then paint it? All right, well, before we had stainless, you'd be ripping those frets out in a year or so, okay, if you play like me and you just wear right through them. And then, so if you painted it after you fretted it, no good, because now you got raw wood under the frets. You're gonna have to plane that paint off and repaint it.
When you refret it.
Yeah. So well, now let's say we paint the neck first and then we fret it. No good. Why? Okay. Here's the rub. Here's the trick. See that edge right there? That needs to be where you can almost cut your hand on it to fret a guitar. That should be sharp as a razor. Okay? If you don't know about this, you'll never do a good fret job. Your ends will never work. Okay? You can't play a neck like that. It's uncomfortable. Okay? So that's not
razor neck?
It's not going to stay like that. All right? But when you do your fret job, you want that. So what's the answer? What's the solution to the best? One of the most important things about building guitars is the order you do things in. That will determine, of course, your skills and the wood you use and all that other shit. But the order you do things in is really, really important. Okay? So You know that has to be sharp as a razor to do a good fret job. Because when you file those ends, it has to meet something. You can't bevel this first. It'll never meet it. You'll always have sharp ends. Okay? So to do a great fret job, you want to put your frets in. You want to cut them. You want to file them. Then you want to bevel the living crap out of this. I almost scallop bevel them, make them really comfortable. Nobody's hand ever wore out the edge of the frets, okay? So, that's not a natural thing. You're not going to wear out the edge of a fret. What wears out on a neck from playing is this edge here over the years. So you simulate that and make it feel really nice, okay? So I found the best way to do that, 3 coats of sealer, whatever it is you use. In this day and age, you're probably one of those vinyl sealer guys. I'm not. I still use shellac. Sand it. 3 coats of lacquer. Sand it. Fret the neck. Nice and sharp from the way you built it. Fret the neck.
Well, you took all the tape off that you had on it before.
Cut the ends.
Mm-hmm.
File the ends. Okay? Not finished file, but cut them
flush.
Straight, cut them flush, and give them one beveling, which you're going to come back over much later. Okay. But first, you tape the whole neck off, like Michelle was saying, because I forgot that. Thank you, Michelle. Tape everything but the fingerboard, and you go out and you do what I said. You paint the fingerboard. Okay. Then you fret the neck. You take the tape off because it's in your way, and you fret the neck. Cut the ends. File the ends. Now, when you do this, you're going to rip through some of this paint. That's okay. It's going to come in about here. Okay? You're going to come in a little bit. No big deal.
Curving it.
You're curving it. You're rounding it with smooth files and sandpaper till it feels really nice. Okay? And it looks exactly like what you want. If you have a system for what you do with that, you do the edge here and everything. Now, what do? Now you tape the fingerboard, but leave the tape back the teeniest bit. Okay? And you take it out to your spray booth, and of course you got to finish sanding the neck and everything first, the back, because you got this glue all over it from the fret job. That's wood glue, by the way. So then you go and you tape, like I said, the fingerboard, 3 coats of sealer, 3 coats of lacquer, and a lot of it will get up over that. Okay, you sand the sealer, you sand the lacquer. All right. Now you feather it in a little bit here while you're sanding it. Okay. Now you take the thing out after that, and you put 3 coats of lacquer over the whole neck, coming right over that corner.
So you got 3 continuous coats on the whole damn thing.
Yeah. So what do you have over the frets? Only 3 coats. That ain't shit to file off. Okay. It's not a big globby mess as if you did a whole paint job over the frets. You only got 3 light coats over the frets. That comes right off while you don't even concern yourself with it. When you're filing the frets, it's just gone. And it seals.
Flakes right off.
And it seals the edges, okay? So there's another thing. Some people are like, oh, well, I got to seal those. Well, yeah, okay. Well, those 3 coats will seal that edge, okay? And then, of course, you wait 6 to 8 weeks, whatever you want. And then you wet sand or dry sand the neck. I just dry sand it. And lightly sand, because this is real flat now. See, because you sanded this before there were frets in it. It's very hard to make this flat in between frets. It never really works. But the most of the paint is on already, and it's flat. It's completely flat, okay? So those 3 coats are so thin that if you took, some sandpaper wrapped around a square edge like that, and 2 passes, okay? And that's ready to polish. And I just polish them with a rag. I don't even compound a neck. It's shiny enough just like that, okay? So that's my system. And it's just a tip for you guys. How do you paint a maple neck? How do you fret it? And I've tried all these different ways, and it's been about 20 years ago or so, I was having lunch with one of my friends. He's a guitar builder in Southern California. They're in San Marcos. And we used to go to lunch all the time on Fridays and stuff. And this discussion came up. And he was like, oh, it's simple. And this guy builds a lot of Fender-style guitars, okay? And he builds good guitars. And he turned me on to this. And I thought, You know how some things in life you would never think of yourself, and then when you think of them, you're like,
the light
that
bulb
was the
goes off.
simplest thing in the world, you know. And it really liberated me from the process because then stainless frets came around and they go in and they're in forever. So you're never going to mess with them again. All right. So
but the method still works.
Well, the method's even better. I mean, because
then you got
everything's permanent
fret job.
Yeah. But if it wasn't stainless and you had to pull these out, okay, and your base paint job is under those frets, that it's fine. You don't have to repaint the whole neck now. You take your frets out, you skim it with 800 till it's smooth, you refret the neck, destroy the slots because frets aren't designed to go in twice. They go in once, that's it. No one has ever made a refret fret, okay? It aggravates the living crap out of me.
I know you complain about that.
There's cleats and barbs in there. When you put it in that slot, that's it. When you take it out,
it
the
rips
same
it out.
fret ain't going back in there, okay?
Because the hole's too big.
Yeah, it's never a really good fret job again. What I do is I make all new barbs and cleats. It takes forever, okay? But you think that these idiots would make a refret fret so that you could saw the slot a tiny bit bigger and the tang is bigger with
and
bigger
has
barbs.
The barbs, but then they'd have to have another one and another one
and another one. Right? It's because the whole idea is,
Pretty
but everybody
soon
overdoes things. Let me explain something to you. Everybody overdoes things. Okay, when somebody corrects a problem, they usually go way the other way. There's no need for these to be stainless. Okay, stainless is so hard, King Kong couldn't wear these out. All right, it only needs to be hard enough to stand up to the job that's put on it. Nickel silver fret wire is not. Some of the stuff on the 50s, that stuff was really hard. There was a lot more copper in it. That shit was very hard, and it lasted a lot longer, but still wore out. There's plenty of metals they could have used other than something this hard. This is so hard. It's so overkill. It's ridiculous. But it's either fret the guitar every 2 years, destroy it. When you see guys like Clapton with a different guitar every year, like every tour you see him on, it's a different guitar, different color.
Because he wore out the frets.
He wore out the frets. He gives those guitars away to somebody. Okay, they don't bother refretting them. They don't even send him a new neck. They just send him a new guitar. Because some guys are like, oh, I don't like the tone of stainless. Yeah, because you got a crappy guitar with a shitty fret job that's loose. You could take a new Gibson and put your fingernails under it and rip those frets right out. Those aren't going to sound good no matter what they're made out of. Okay. If you put stainless frets in like this, so solid, so cleated, it's ridiculous. They sound killer good. Nothing wrong with them. In most ways, they sound and play better than a brand new, fresh filed set of nickel frets that are only like that for a week, and then they're destroyed. But you should go pay like $600 for somebody to put it on this foolish machine they call a Plek machine, because they can't figure out how to use files. And then a week later, that $600 Plekking is destroyed because you've been playing the guitar. It's the silliest scam ever in the guitar industry. But
Plek. Is that what?
Plek machine? Yeah, that's for another.
I think
video.
you talked about that in your refret.
Yeah, that's for
your
video.
refret set.
But anyway, I'm gonna waste the rest of my Saturday morning cutting fret ends and getting a big red spot
hurting his mouth
in my hand.
muscle.
Okay, peace out.